Hello, this is Victor. I'm here with a new chapter or new video on Ask Victor. This is the video where you can make me your questions. You can make the questions and I will answer them. Normally I do this once a month. The last one was 19th of January. So now that we are 18th of Feb, I think it's a good moment to do a new one, a new Ask Victor video. And I will go through the questions that were dropped in the previous video. If you want me to answer my questions and if you like this type of videos, please leave in the comments below your question, or you can send me a private message with a question. Depending how big is the question, I might do a video just for that, but normally I will cover them in the next month, more or less mid of next month as well, with the video. So let's go through the questions from the last month, and I will try to cover them the best I can. So the first one, the first is just a comment from Heresy Productions. Say, great chat, Victor, enjoyed that. Let's go to the first question. It's from Scarlock the Wanderer. My January question, Age of Sigmar. Do you think that Games Workshop will remove compendiums, factions, from the forthcoming General Handbook 2, which will likely be released in summer 17th? Do you want them to be moved to the corresponding AOS specific factions in each of the four alliances? Sorry. So to be fair, I know with the last news where they confirmed that they are reviewing the points, and we have seen that they have reviewed the points of the Tomb Kings. I'm pretty sure they will keep putting them in the compendiums for the next version of compendiums that most likely will happen in summer. So I expect to have one general handbooks every summer, as this looks to be the strategy for Age of Sigmar. A cheap book where they review the points, where they put more extra rules, and I think it's a good frequency for a new general handbook. So I'm pretty sure that they will put all the old Bretonnian, Tonkins, and some of the other compendiums. I think they will keep it separated. To be fair, I don't mind. To be fair, in Age of Sigmar, these factions in reality they don't exist. You cannot create alliances of Bretonnian because it is not key work of Bretonnian. Okay, so the Bretonnians are or free people, or they are order, or sometimes they are they can be, I don't remember how it's called, nobility or peasants. So they have different keywords, but none of the keyword is Bretonnian. The same for the Tomb Kings. They can be used in some of the they will have some of the same keywords or some of the sorry, sub-factions or sub-alliances in the Death Book. So I think they will keep it separated, and the way to or the reason to keep them separated because they don't produce miniatures for these figures anymore. But I think we will see these compendiums to grow with the miniatures that are dropped from the active part, or the part that they have miniatures, to the part that they don't have miniatures. But yeah, I still think if you play Bretonnian, you will play as Order, and you can mix Bretonnian with free people because all Bretonnian is free people, and they have very nice synergies there. So I think it's up to each player how they want to mix. And to be fair, the separation they do in the General Handbook is quite artificial because at the end they are Order, or they are Death, or they are Chaos, or they are Destruction, and the keywords in the Wasp Wars is what they say. So yeah, I think they will keep it separately, but in practical and according to the rules, they belong to one of the four alliances. Let's go to the next question. Is how much money did you spend? Do you spend to Warhammer 40k? I will say I will put 40k Age of Sigmar and box games all together from Games Workshop. It's in the order of 100 to 150 euros a month, more or less what I'm spending. Depending on the books, I'm trying to limit myself on the miniatures I buy. and maybe Christmas or when it's my birthday, there is a little bit more expense. Maybe one of these big miniatures that I like Magnus the Red for Christmas. But I try to limit myself between the 100 and 150. I have enough miniatures to paint. I'm just focusing now on buying the books because I like to collect the books and buying some of the new games that they are launching. Because I like to have these games just in case in future I want to play, and yeah, and they are quite. I think they are they are worth. So they are quite cheap compared to buying individual miniatures. But this is more or less the range. Yeah, if you are not in the hobby, most of the people will think that is too much, and and this is what I try to limit myself so far. Let's go to the next point. Good one, Victor. This is from Tattoo for You. Great channel, by the way. If you want to have some fun, crazy channels, go to the channel Tattoo for You. Good one, Victor. Given the chance, is there another army that catches you either Age of Sigmar or 40k? Too many. There are too many armies that catch my eye, but I don't have plan to start new armies so far. Thench in Age of Sigmar is catching my eye a lot. I have some Thench, so technically I will not start up a new army if I am increasing this Thench. But also we have Stormcast Eternals that have new units, so I don't have time to start another army. I have enough in my collection, so yeah, almost any new army that the Games Workshop is launching is catching my eye, but so far I try to limit myself. To be fair, in 40k it's difficult to start a new army because I'm collecting too many so far. So yeah, they are, but. And if I will start an army now, another one, most likely I think I will focus more on the Thench, Chaos Thench for Age of Sigmar. But yeah, I don't think it will happen. Maybe I will buy the new Lord of Thench, the new Lord of Change, sorry, because I have demons in 40k, I have demons in Age of Sigmar, or it's the same army, and I have a big Chaos army in 40k. So Chaos is always, the new miniatures from Chaos is always catching my eye. I like these big monsters and these demons, and because I think it's a big opportunity to have some crazy painting jobs. Now we have from Eric BR40k, another highly recommended channel, a great personality in the community. I really recommend to join the Eric Beer's channel. He said, enjoy that. It's pretty obvious some armies are better than others in 40k. What would you do to even up the battlefield? And this is a tough talk, a tough call, I will say. I say one way to change the balance is change the points that you play. Some armies are very strong at 1,500, between 1,500 and 2,000 points, where is the spot the most tournaments are happening. If you play Kill Team, most of these armies are the gap is not that big. Other option is to play with the scenarios. So if you think that one army is stronger than the other, put some rules on the scenario that is helping the army that is less strong. I think, yeah, and the last option is the comms that we have in the tournaments. I always think the comms in the tournaments are just shifting the advantage from one side to the other, and I still see the same gap and the same problems. And sometimes the comms are affecting as well the bad armies and some builds that the less strong armies can do. So it's also impacting them all. So I'm in tournament scene, it's difficult to have a balance, and I will say the only way I see to really break a little bit with all these strong armies is maybe change the points that we play. If you play 500 points, these Death Stars almost disappear. If you force some builds at 1,000 points, for example, 1,000 points, 140k, I'm pretty sure that some of these Death Stars, if you limit the type of Death Star and you're obliged to have troops and all those type of things, yeah, there is several ways playing with the points. You can play with the scenarios, and you can play with the restrictions of the type of units that you can take. And when I say restrictions, I don't say I want to eliminate this unit from this army. I say it's compulsory to take 1 HQ and 2 troops. For example, we always give freedom to the detachment that you can use, but the tournament can force the detachment to be the same for all the armies, for example. This will make some armies very difficult to play, but there's always this possibility. I think we lack imagination when it comes to create tournaments, and when it comes to create pick-up games. We go to the easiest, take the book, take the detachment that we have available, let's open to everything, and of course, if the people is not controlling the army that they are picking, they can really take a very strong army that can be not enjoyable for the person in front. What I'm realizing now as well, I have the feeling that Age of Sigmar is much more balanced. I don't know if because the rules have big streamline and there is less. There is some craziness, but I have the feeling that there is not the imbalance that sometimes is claiming for the game. But summarizing, change the points. Try different points on your games. Also going very big will allow some of the armies that maybe are not that competitive to have more tools and to be stronger. So I really think playing with the points is a way to shift what army is stronger than the other. Play with the scenario. If it's just you and your colleagues, you can use the scenarios that are helping some of the armies that you can consider, or you can, even if you think that the two armies are stronger, you can challenge yourself. So one is a defender of a fortress and have some terrain, and you give some additional abilities. So I think the problem is the meta is based on playing always the same type of scenarios, and in US it's mainly the ITC, and I'm playing the same style of games and with the same missions. When you start playing with the missions, terrain is another point that can really change a lot what army is stronger than the other. If you make very dense terrain, the armies that have a lot of shooting can suffer more because they have to go closer to the enemy. If you play with open terrain, then there is the opposite. So play with the terrain, play with the scenarios, play with the points that you are playing. Playing with all these, you can find new challenges, and you can try to balance, and you will see different games. Yeah, you can find that the armies maybe are not as unbalanced as they look like at the beginning. But of course, the balance is not existing in 40k, the balance is not existing in Age of Sigmar. I think there is not any game that we can think that everything is balanced and even. That doesn't exist, because if you want, even in the chess, when it's supposed to be one of the most even games, the white have advantage versus the black. And that's all what I have for this month. I hope you have enjoyed this chat. As usual, if you want this to keep going, leave the comment in give your questions in the comments below. Thanks a lot for the people that have put the comments in the previous month. Looking forward the next month to answer your questions. Give a like, share, and as usual, thanks a lot for watching, and see you later. Bye.